high side. Murphy shooting, save a rebound on the view.
Hey everyone, this is Casey. You are watching the Red Rubber Duckwind All Sports Network, and it is finally here. Week 1 of the 2025 NFL season is about to get underway, and I honestly cannot wait for this. But we have 16 teams getting ready for 272 games of just absolute warfare. And the road to San Francisco starts here. Let's go into the predictions. Let's not waste any more time. With the first of 272 regular season games, we got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Philly for a classic NFC East matchup against the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this wasn't really an interesting, if it wasn't really an interesting matchup before, it certainly is now, because just 1 week before they were even supposed to play any games, the Dallas Cowboys traded away Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. And everybody completely lost it. And it even went live. The trade even happened 30 seconds before Clickbait Sports went live. And Tom Grossi and Scooter Magruder were just absolutely losing it in joy and in anger, of course. But so the Cowboys are going to be without Micah Parsons, obviously, and George Pickens is going to be making his debut, and he's going to be paired up with CeeDee Lamb. The secondary is looking to rebound with DaRon Bland. He didn't have the best of seasons last year. And of course, Dak Prescott, he's going to be working with the new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer. As for the Eagles, they have every reason to celebrate. Jalen Hurts is 4-0 in Week 1, and Saquon Barkley is coming off of a 2,000-yard season. And there's a strong new look secondary. And of course, you're going to see Darius Slay is gone, but it shouldn't really matter. With 2 new starters on the defensive line, they should be able to give Dak Prescott a very hard time. I'm going to say the reigning champions will be off to a good start. I'm going to say the Eagles take it over the Cowboys. And now on Friday, this is a very special one. It's our second Sao Paulo game. And it's the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Los Angeles Chargers in an AFC West showdown. And this one, it seems like the NFL is finally answering our prayers. We get to stream a game for free, and we won't have to worry about pirating. That's right. It's gonna be streaming exclusively on YouTube, and it's gonna be great because we don't have to. It's gonna be great. You don't have to go in any pirating sites or anything. For Kansas City, of course, they just lost their throne after defending it for 2 years. And Patrick Mahomes is going to look for better production from his offense. You're not going to have Rashee Rice. He's suspended for 6 games. You still have Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown, and of course Travis Kelce. You obviously have him. For the defense, Chris Jones is still going to bring the heat, and of course the Chiefs have 7 wins in a row against the Los Angeles Chargers. And speaking of the Chargers, you still got Justin Herbert. He's also looking for more production from his offense. But they did just get some huge weapons for the rushing attack, including the rookie Omarion Hampton. And of course, they brought in Najee Harris from Pittsburgh. And for the defense, Khalil Mack and Bud Dupree, they're going to bring the heat. But I still think the high-end talent is going to be real in this one. I'm going to say the Kansas City Chiefs take it in Brazil. So now we finally get to the Sunday games. And the first one we got is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. And you guessed it, another divisional showdown, this time in the NFC South. And this is going to be the start of... This is going to be the brand new season for your brand new offensive coordinator, Josh Grizzard. Of course, you got Baker Mayfield. He's still one of the more promising quarterbacks in the NFL. And you have Mike Evans coming off of a 1,000-yard season. And you also got the rookie Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State to help you out. And of course, you got Bucky Irving. He had himself a generational year last year. For the defense, Hassan Reddick comes in. And if there's one thing you know about the Buccaneers defense, they know how to blitz. So that's going to be one thing that the Falcons are going to have to look out for. For the Falcons, it's the start of the Michael Penix show. Let's see if he was really worth drafting him with the 7th pick not too long ago. And let's see if he can silence all the laughter that we had. For Bijan Robinson, he's coming off of a 1,500-yard season. And, of course, you still got Kyle Pitts. You still got Darnell Mooney. And you got Drake London to throw to. And you have a brand new pass rush that's being led by the brand new defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich. But in terms of who wins, I'm going to say the Buccaneers take this one. It just looks... The Buccaneers just look too powerful to me. I'm going to say the Bucs. Next up, we got the Battle of OHIO. It's the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Cleveland Browns. Look at that. It's been all divisional matchups thus far. For the Bengals, they have not had much luck. They have not had much luck opening the season. They've lost the last 3 season openers. For Joe Burrow, he needs to find a way to combat slow starts. Of course, you got Jamar Chase, you got T. Higgins, you got Oshavis. And for the defense, you brought in a new defensive coordinator in Al Golden. And the question is, who's going to be the great supporting actor for Trey Hendrickson? Because he's been getting a lot of help. He needs a lot of help. And you recently just signed a contract extension with him, and when you nearly lost him this offseason. You have to give him some help. For the Browns, Joe Flacco is making his return as a starter. And, of course, Jerry Jeudy, he's going to need a lot of help. And Jerome Ford will be the brand new option at running back. For the defense, you still got Myles Garrett. He likes getting off to a fast start, but he really needs support. And for the cornerbacks, of course, you got Denzel Ward. He's been all over the field, and they should be all right. Some people are going to say the Bengals, but knowing their bad luck in season openers, I'm going to go with the Browns as a cautionary pick. I know willingly picking the Browns is a bit crazy, but hey, this isn't the same old Browns. I'm going to say Cleveland. Finally, we're free from divisional matchups for now. We got the Miami Dolphins taking on the Indianapolis Colts. For the Dolphins, Tua is going to look for a way to stay healthy for 1 full year. He's only been healthy for like 1 year, I think, out of 4 or 5. And, of course, he still has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to throw to. The pass rush is going to be looking for potential, as well as a new-look secondary in Miami because Jalen Ramsey is gone. For the Colts, you have a brand-new starter under center in Daniel Jones. Tyler Warren is going to be making his debut at tight end. And, of course, you have a nice option on the ground in Jonathan Taylor. The pass rush is going to be looking for more production under new defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo, as well as 2 new starters. It's going to be a battle in Lucas Oil Stadium, but I'm going to say the Miami Dolphins are going to take this one. Now we move on to Panthers and the Jaguars. The Battle of the Cats. And the Jaguars, they have their new head coach in Liam Cohen. And of course, they drafted with the 2nd pick. They traded with Cleveland. the ultimate dual threat in wide receiver and cornerback, Travis Hunter. He's going to be making his debut. Of course, you have Brian Thomas. He was great throughout the year last year. And, of course, you have Travis Etienne to hand the ball off to. And Trevor Lawrence, he's still looking as deadly as ever. Two guys need to watch out for, or last names need to look out for on the defensive line is Walker and Hines Allen. Yeah, it's no longer the superior Josh Allen. It's now Josh Hines Allen. Just to avoid confusion, but come on. We're still going to be the superior Josh Allen in our hearts. And of course, the Jaguars, they're dealing with a retooled secondary. For the Panthers, they're looking to justify the number 1 pick, Bryce Young. And of course, you have wide receiver Tiara McMillan making his debut. And then you got Nico Dowdle, who came in from the Cowboys, and then Chuba Hubbard. And then there's 5 new starters on defense. And you have the secondary with J.C. Horn making his Panthers debut. It's going to be tough, but I'm going to say Jacksonville is going to take this one. Next up, we got the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the New England Patriots. These are 2 brand new looking teams. For the Raiders, Pete Carroll is going to be making his debut for the Raiders. And they brought in a new offensive coordinator in Chip Kelly. And the Raiders, they're looking to utilize their brand new running back, Ashton Jeanty, as he looks to lead the way. And of course, Geno Smith, he's going to be making his Vegas debut as he went along with the ride with Pete Carroll. And of course, you have Brock Bowers, who's been on a tear last year, and he's looking for some more production. For the Raiders, the main concern is the defense, because you do have 8 new starters on a brand new revamped D, but you do have Malcolm Kuntz making his return after injuries prevented him from playing in 2024. For the Patriots, you have a brand new coach in Mike Vrabel, as well as a new offensive coordinator, because Josh McDaniels is back. And you have a new overhauled offense. Stephon Diggs is going to be making his debut for the Patriots. And then, of course, you have Travion Henderson coming in to highlight all the rushers. And they also have a revamped defense with 6 brand new starters. And, of course, they brought in a former Raider, Robert Spillane, and this is going to be his revenge game. How about that? Week 1. Week 1 with plenty of revenge games. For this one, I'm going to say New England takes this one. Next up, you got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the New Orleans Saints. Of course, you have Kyler Murray, who last year had 21 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. You can still hand the ball off to James Conner. And Marvin Harrison Jr. had himself a very good rookie year. He's coming in for his sophomore year. And, of course, Trey McBride. He had himself a very good year at tight end with a 1,000-yard season. But the Cardinals will have 5 new starters on defense. And out of the front 7, 4 of those will be new faces. For the Saints, you got Spencer Rattler starting at QB under new head coach Kellen Moore. And of course, you still got Chris Olave, you got Rashid Shaheed to throw to. And Alvin Kamara, he had near 1,500 yards of total offense. And you have 3 new starters in a revamped secondary and a huge front 4, including Chase Young. But I am going to say that the Arizona Cardinals win it on the road in the Superdome. So I already went over this game in detail. You can check it out. You can check it out if you watch the channel. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, by the way, if you made it this far into the video. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the New York Jets. And this is a brand new looking Jets with Aaron Glenn as their new head coach. I did mention this was going to be a quarterback battle between Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields. Both of them are in revenge games. Of course, you have DK Metcalf coming in for the Steelers. They just signed Jalen Warren to a new extension. And TJ Watt makes his return after signing an extension for his own, and they will have a brand new secondary. As for the Jets, like I mentioned earlier, Justin Fields coming in from Pittsburgh. Garrett Wilson had 1,100 yards last year. Breece Hall is making his return. And the Jets are going to bring back some very terrifying linemen in Quinnen Williams, and then Johnson, and then Will McDonald. And then, of course, you have Sauce Gardner making his return. And you know what my prediction is if you already saw my Steelers preview. I'm going to say the New York Jets. I'm just kidding. I'm saying the Pittsburgh Steelers taking this one. And we are back to divisional matchups. We have the New York Giants taking on the Washington Commanders. Now, of course, you know the Commanders. They went on a Cinderella run to the Final Four last year. You have Jaden Daniels, the Offensive Rookie of the Year, making his return. Scary Terry McLaurin is back after a 1,000-yard season. And Deebo Samuel is coming in from San Francisco as his first season as a Commander. They have a brand new pass rush with Javon Kinlaw and Von Miller. And they have a retooled secondary with 2 brand new starters. As for the Giants, Russell Wilson will be making his debut. And then, of course, you have Malik Neighbors to throw to. He had a 1,200-yard season last year. Abdul Carter will be making his rookie season. And this is one of the more deadliest defenses in all the NFL. 45 sacks, which is 8th last season. And, of course, you have a retooled secondary. It's going to be tough to predict, but I'm going to say Washington is going to come out on top. Now we get to our late afternoon games. This is the Tennessee Titans taking on the Denver Broncos. You have 2 new offensive linemen for the Titans, and they have to make sure they protect the first overall pick from this year, Cam Ward, as he makes his Tennessee debut. And he has reliable weapons in Calvin Ridley, and of course Tyler Lockett is making his debut. And there's 4 new starters on defense. And you have Jermont Jones making his debut, and as well as a beefed up pass rush. For the Broncos, you have Orange Crush 2.0. They only allowed 18.3 points per game last year, which is 3rd. And they had the most sacks last year with 63. Of course, Pat Surtain is going to be paired up with Ridley and as part of an already beefy secondary. As for their offense, Bo Nix recorded 29 touchdowns last year, and he's in for his encore year. Of course, J.K. Dobbins is going to be making his debut, and you have a brand new tight end in Evan Ingram. For who wins this game, I'm going to say Orange Crush is going to crush the Titans. I'm going to say the Denver Broncos. Now it's time for another divisional matchup. They're getting all the divisional matchups out of the way. Crazy. It's the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks, another classic rivalry. For the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey returns after only playing 4 games last year after coming down with an injury. Brock Purdy will make his return along with George Kittle, but he will not have a weapon in Brandon Ayuk. He's going to be out. And of course, you have the corner trio headlined by Diamador Lenore is going to be coming back for San Francisco. And Nick Bosa comes in after a solid 2024. And you have 2 new starters in the front 4. That should be able to help out. For Seattle, Sam Darnold is going to be making his Seattle debut. Of course, you have Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker III to hand the ball off to. And to join Jackson Smith and Jigba, you brought in Cooper Kupp from the Rams. Now, all 5 secondary starters will be making their return, and you're going to have a very dangerous pass rush with the recently brought in DeMarcus Lawrence. As for who I think is going to win, I still think the 49ers are a bit stronger than Seattle. I'm going to say the 49ers take this one. And what do you know? Another divisional matchup. We got the Detroit Lions taking on the Green Bay mother-loving Packers. For the Lions, it's a brand new staff. You have a new offensive coordinator in John Morton and a new defensive coordinator in Kelvin Shepard. For Jared Goff, he's 6-2 in week 1 games. And of course, the Lions offense, they scored the most points last year at 33.2 points per game. He has Jameson Williams to throw to. He has Sam Laporta to throw to. And of course, you have David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs making his return. As speaking of returning, Aiden Hutchinson is back. And he's looking to be more dangerous than ever, as well as 4 of the 5 starters in the secondary from last year returning. For the Packers, Jordan Love is 1-3 against the Lions. But Matthew Golden will be a brand new target for him, as well as Josh Jacobs. He's going to be running all over the place, of course. And of course, for the defense, you have Rashad Gary and Quay Walker returning, and 4 of the 5 starters returning for their secondary as well. It's going to be tough. Divisional matchups are usually the toughest to predict. I'm going to say the Green Bay Packers take it in Lambeau. And our final late afternoon game, we got the Houston Texans taking on the Los Angeles Rams. The Texans will be having a new offensive coordinator in Nick Cali. C.J. Stroud is going to be brought in for his 3rd season. Of course, he's got Nico Collins to throw to. He's got Christian Kirk to throw to. There are 3 new starters on the O-line. Now, the problem is for the rushing attack, Joe Mixon is going to be out. But you did bring in Nick Chubb. That might help you out a bit. And 3 names that should strike fear. On the secondary: Stingley, Lassiter, and Petrie. Those 3 names should strike fear in the secondary. And up front, guys like Will Anderson is going to be breathing down your quarterback's neck. As for the Rams, you do have Matthew Stafford coming in for his 17th season. And of course, Devontae Adams will be making his debut as a Ram. He has 1,000 yards or more in 5 seasons. And of course, Puka Nacua is going to be a reliable weapon for Stafford, as well as Kyren Williams, who came off of a very, very productive year last year. The Fearsome Foursome 2.0 will return for the defense, as well as all 5 starters in the secondary making their return. And I'm honestly going to say Los Angeles Rams take this one. And now we got Sunday Night Football. You got a rematch of last year's divisional round. You got the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills for the start of the farewell season for the old Highmark Stadium. For the Ravens, of course, they're going to be looking for revenge. Lamar Jackson is 4-2 in week 1. Of course, he has reliable weapons to throw to in Zay Flowers, DeAndre Hopkins, and I know a certain tight end that's going to be looking for revenge in Mark Andrews. And of course, Derrick Henry. You know how King Henry the 22nd can run 60 yards per game in week 1 in all of his starts. They have a real beefier secondary with Malachi Starks. Jair Alexander's going to be making his debut as a Raven. And the pass rush will see the returns of Odafe Owe and Kyle Van Noy. For the Bills, you have Josh Allen, who's also 4-2 in week 1. You have the return of James Cook. You have Josh Palmer and Elijah Moore coming in as reliable weapons for Allen to use. Joey Bosa is going to be back. Is going to be making his Bills debut up front. You have Teron Johnson, and of course Tre'Davious White is back. It's going to be very difficult, but I think the Bills are going to be starting their final season at the old Highmark Stadium on a very bad note. I'm going to say the Ravens get revenge. And last but not least, we have Monday Night Football, the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Chicago Bears, and you guessed it, another divisional matchup. For the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy will be making his first NFL start. Justin Jefferson's going to be returning as a very reliable weapon for him. You have Aaron Jones to hand the ball off to, and you just got your tight end, Adam Thielen, back. There's going to be a retooled secondary with Isaiah Rodgers and Jeff Okudah coming in. And two words that should strike fear for this defense is Van Ginkel and Greenard. It's going to be a very, very wild game for them. For the Chicago Bears, of course, you have Caleb Williams returning, and he will be led by new head coach Ben Johnson. Of course, you have DeAndre Swift. You have 3 new pass catchers for Caleb Williams. Montez Sweat is coming in with 2 new starters in the defensive line. It's going to be very difficult to predict, but I'm going to say the Minnesota Vikings take this one on Monday Night Football. Well, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching the first of several NFL predictions videos. I look forward to Sunday when we stream the Steelers and Jets. It's going to be a very good battle for sure. Thank you guys for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, share this stream with your friends, share this video with your friends, I should say, and subscribe to River of Duckman All Sports Network. Thank you so much for watching again. Until we meet again, I will see you all in the next video. Take care, you guys.